Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Welcome to another edition of fantastic fictional fight scenes. We have a question from Ice Cold 11235 who says, Coach Ramsey, do you think the famous discombobulate move from Sherlock Holmes would work in a real fight? Well, let's take a look at that fight scene from the 2009 Robert Downey Jr. film Sherlock Holmes, based on the novels by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Alright, let's pull that up. So it's been like 10 years since I've seen this movie, let alone this scene, so I don't remember the exact context. If we cue this up, the previous scene, Sherlock is eating dinner, he's thinking about the case, and in the next scene, almost randomly, he seems to be in a fight. Now, I don't remember if it was The Hound of the Baskervilles, but there's this scene in one of the books where Sherlock is shown to be a physically powerful man. Everybody knows he's a mentally powerful man. He's a genius. His real superpower is his mind. But what a lot of people don't know is that Sherlock actually was a physically strong, physically imposing type of guy, right? So in this book, there's a big, large man, and he's trying to show physical dominance. And he grabs a fireplace poker, a brass rod of metal, and he grabs it, and just to show how strong it is, he bends it in half and then throws it in the fire, and he storms out. Sherlock, in the book, he picks the poker up, and he says, if that man had stuck around a little bit longer, I could have shown him a thing or two about strength. And then he bends the poker back into place, showing that he is just as strong as the larger man. So I think it's really interesting that they showed, at least in the movie, they showed some of Sherlock's physical prowess as well as his mental prowess in this fight scene. So the fight continues. Sherlock gets shoved against the wall. He collapses. He slips some punches. Very agile. Counters with some open hand strikes. Open hand with the back. He doesn't seem to be wanting to injure his opponent. He's assumed the English boxing stance, very similar to a Wing Chun stance. Robert Downey Jr. is a practitioner of Wing Chun. And you can definitely see that in the fight choreography here. Bit of a fake to an arm drag sort of motion here. And he gets lambasted against the side of the wall here. He's striking the back of the head. Apparently no rule against that in this particular fight. Big guy's manhandling him up against the wall. Sherlock frames against the chin, pushes him away, but still gets thrown on the ground. He claps. He's enjoying himself. He's having a good time. He gets up and sees the handkerchief of this woman in the movie. I don't remember what their relationship was, but he's distracted and he gets knocked down again. Having seen the handkerchief, Sherlock, he gets up, looks out into the audience to see if this woman is there. Doesn't seem to be particularly concerned about the fight. She is there. She winks at him. He's like, okay, enough of this fight. Let's go attend to other business. He walks over there, tells the larger man, you've won, good job. The large man is not content. He wants total victory right here. He wants to fight. Sherlock sees the woman. I'm not sure what she's doing there right there. I don't remember. It's been 10 years since I've seen this. But he feels it is now important to finish this fight. No more playing around, no more open hand slaps. So he visualizes this sequence. There's the discombobulate move, supposedly, where he slaps the ears right there. That's what our friend Ice Cold asked about. Strikes the liver, throws a weird elbow with the fleshy part of his arm instead of the bony part. So, bit of a problem right there. We'll go over that in a bit. But he's visualizing what he's going to do, like this 15-strike combination. This punch is going to do that. This punch is going to break his jaw. This punch is going to discombobulate them. This one is going to put him out of action for 6 weeks, something like that. And this part is pure fantasy because that's not how fights actually work. If you punch a heavy bag, a stationary target that isn't fighting back, sure, you can do whatever the heck you want. And I suppose the idea right here is that he is going to surprise the guy by throwing the handkerchief at him, which he is about to do. So he throws it. But after that first punch, especially if the guy has the wits about him to throw a haymaker back, which he does, he's not going to be a punching bag in real life. That's not how it happens. But it's still a really fun scene. He picks up the handkerchief, looks for the girl, she's not there anymore, and Sherlock saunters off into the crowd looking like a badass. Okay, that's a cool scene. It's fun to watch right now, just like it was 10 years ago. But let's talk about the discombobulate move. Now, you didn't ask about, is it realistic to think I'm going to come up with this complex game plan on the spot, mid-fight, and then pull off a 15-punch combination? Nah, not really. We don't think in fights, we react. But the double ear slap, what does that actually do? And before anybody asks, if anybody is wondering, striking the ears with the palms of the hands is totally legal in the UFC under unified rules. And you may wonder, why don't we see more of it? Well, there are often better options. But I have seen a fight. It was a local level professional fight. I don't remember the fighters' names, but there was this really strong wrestler, really good wrestler, and he was really good at taking people down. He took his opponent down, got on top. The other guy had closed guard and couldn't make any of his jiu-jitsu work because the wrestler was just too good from the top. And just wasn't giving him any space to move, no space to position, no space to strike or do anything from the bottom. So it's wrestling versus jiu-jitsu basically. And the jiu-jitsu guy is having a really hard time of it. So all he really has room for is open hand strikes to the side of the ear, which he does over and over and over and over again throughout the fight. And the strikes to the ear, they are damaging. After the fight, the guy on top was cut up quite a bit, because when he got hit in the ear, he did give up some space, which is what you need to land some strikes. And so the jiu-jitsu guy on the bottom was able to get some little elbows in there and open up some cuts. But more shockingly, the wrestler, when he got up and they interviewed him afterward, he said, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. He kept hitting me in the ears like, I can't hear, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. So that's how the post-fight interview went. His hearing was gone. So I don't know if it came back or to what extent, but yeah, those strikes to the eardrum, pushing air into the ear, cupping over the top right there with violent force, yeah, that has some serious ramifications. So in this fight that I'm talking about, not the Sherlock fight, there were probably about 60 of those strikes to the ear, 60 of those discombobulate moves, which got small reactions from the guy on the top. Sometimes moving back a little bit, where you could get like a little elbow or chop or something like that in. Not like a 16 strike finishing combination like you would see in a video game or a movie like Sherlock there. But the end result, about, dozens and dozens and dozens of palm strikes, heavy palm strikes pushing the air into the ear, was deafness. So, does it work? It definitely damages. It's definitely not something you want somebody to do to you. Will it give you the same effect that it did in the Sherlock movie? Again, he hit the ears. What was the guy's response? The guy got mad, he got infuriated, and immediately threw a haymaker back. That part is realistic. That's very realistic. If you hurt someone, they will want to hurt you back. If you cause someone pain, they will want to inflict worse pain on you. So, what I liked about that scene was that they did show that. Sherlock does this really aggravating, annoying, painful move, slapping both ears at the same time, driving that air in there. It's a damaging move. And it makes the other guy so mad, he just wants to, just kill this guy. So, yeah, that much is realistic. So, that's my take on Sherlock, starring Robert Downey Jr., and that awesome, outstanding, fictional fight scene of the fantastic category. Thank you for watching. Get out there and train.